Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel. Tobin here with you. Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there on this beautiful Friday. Happy Veterans Day to everybody out there. Thank you to our veterans. Thank you for everything you guys do. Completely blessed and that you guys have done everything you've done for our country. And thank you for keeping us safe. And hope everybody has a great holiday weekend. I know it was an easy drive into the studio today. Friday, easy traffic. And I thought it was just Friday. I thought it was like, God, people don't seem to be working on Fridays anymore. And people are like, oh, it's Veterans Day, dummy. I'm like, very good. Thank you. Didn't need the insult, but I appreciate you informing me as to why it was such an easy drive in. Miami Heat will be back in action on Saturday. They will practice today in Atlanta as they continue this road trip. And, boys, take it easy in Atlanta, right? It's if you're going to go get your lemon pepper Lou on, just make sure you get in a good night's sleep, you're hydrated, and all ready for the Hawks, because we're taking on a team in Atlanta, the Heat, and this squad right here, they're horny. I don't know how else to put it. The Atlanta Hawks are the horniest team in the NBA, because what I saw yesterday was quite something. And if you don't know what I'm referring to, here you go. It is the Atlanta Hawks are advertising for the in-season tournament, and they put out this advertisement for only Hawks fans, and their mascot, Harry the Hawk, I mean, he seems to be trying to bring in a little extra cash.
Only Hawks fans know where the real action is. Only Hawks fans know what they really want to see. And only Hawks fans know just where to get it. The all-new NBA in-season tournament. Join in and wake up your wild side. Hot 5-on-5 action.
Okay. I'm all for creativity. Listen. Old Tobes is about the hijinks, okay? I'm not exactly your typical run-of-the-mill, buttoned-up sports commentator. I like the shenanigans. What the hell is that? Why is Harry the Hawk trying to sell me his feet? What's going on? Apparently there's group play going on within onlyhawksfans.com. They are horny, dude. And I was just like, whoa, all right. And even DeJounte Murray was like, delete this. And I don't know if he's joking. I don't know if he's seriously embarrassed. It's hard to say. I don't know, but the Miami Heat are going in here with the horniest team in the NBA. They're doing stuff. And look, this is not a team that is not subject. Their Twitter account does get sassy from time to time. But this is racked up. I think when I checked this morning, it was like a 30 million views already. And I was watching the Hawks game last night, a little bit of them versus the Magic. They were playing in Mexico City. Trae Young hit one from 35 feet. DeJounte Murray hit a big three, assist from Trae to put them up. But, I mean, what the hell? And this is a team, of course, with Atlanta, division matchup. You have a team. They're off to a good start. And it's interesting from a couple of standpoints, Atlanta, because you have Trae Young, who's got an interesting past with the Miami Heat. We know about him and Jimmy Butler and their matchups in the past. That's always been fun. But then also, one thing that's going to be missing from this is Gabe Vincent, and Gabe Vincent has always been a guy who has given Trae Young fits, and to the point where he made Trae Young say his safe word pineapple in the playoffs. He was, complaining and whining to the officials that, Gabe Vincent wasn't getting calls, and Gabe Vincent always had that sly smile. And, that playoff series was very, like, it was one of the big things. It was one of Gabe Vincent's, like, really, like, his coming out party in a lot of ways. But then, of course, the next year, you had the Atlanta game, which was one of the lowest feelings in recent Heat memory. And I mean, like, of disappointment. Obviously, you know, from, like, Game 6 when Boston ties up the series 3-3, that was, like, shell-shocked. Jimmy Butler missing the 3-game 7, that was heartbreak. This was just utter embarrassment and disappointment. So now you have this and they just killed Miami on the boards. Clint Capella, seemed like there were 7 of them out there, and he was getting every single rebound. And, you know, it's a team with Sadiq Bey, who always seems to kill the Heat. But will be interesting to see this matchup and see how it goes. And, of course, we get to hear from our old friend, which is voice of the Hawks, Steve Holman.
Now down low, it's going to be Al Horford. He drives. He goes up and gets knocked out hard. Oh, my goodness. The Heat have resorted to thuggery. And Al Horford slow to get up. Miami, they're down by 19, and they have to resort to the street stuff. That should be a flagrant foul. These Miami Heat players are street thugs.
Man, crazy. Steve Holman, dude. Always weird when I see that dude in the arena. He has blocked me on Twitter, you know, which I guess I can't blame him. I'm sure that I was saying things. I don't even remember what have I tweeted at him, or was he just blocking? The point is he's blocked me. He's been there along with Dan Gilbert, some of my proud Heat Twitter blocks that I like to hold up like trophies. But this will be this is definitely gonna be something to. This is always it's not. I wouldn't say that Heat Hawks is a rivalry. Definitely wouldn't say that. That's a ridiculous statement. But there's always. It just always feels like there's some interesting stuff when it comes to Heat Hawks matchups. Even going back to, like, I remember the big three, LeBron, D Wade out, Chris Bosh with a huge three to send it to overtime. Yeah, man, it's this should be a fun one coming on up. This is not an in-season tournament game, so I guess the Hawks will be not as revved up for this game. They're not going to be feeling as sexy for this game, which is, I guess, disappointing for the Heat. I mean, look, no kink shaming. Like, if Bernie were to come out and he were to say, like, you know, him and Bernice opened up some kind of website, I mean, good for them. They've been a long time married couple. You got to spice things up every now and then. But I couldn't imagine the Miami Heat advertising that. It's insane, dude. The official diagnosis of Tyler Hero, by the way, since I've had some bad timing with this on these videos because I should have just my last 2 Heat videos have been like I should have just waited like 30 more minutes and I would have had more information. I would have had Tyler Hero's comments on the post game, and then I would have had his actual diagnosis. But Tyler Hero, it is a grade 2 ankle sprain. The Miami Heat tweeted out he's going to be in a walking boot for 10 days, reevaluated in 2 weeks. They said we will have a better idea of his return after a 2-week reevaluation. And this is one of those that's like, it's a fine line with Tyler because he obviously wants to be back quick and he wants to have this big monster season, but you also want to be careful. It is November, and if the Miami Heat could just man the fort without him, and even if they haven't taken off to a spectacular record, and there are going to probably be some offensive struggles without him, I would imagine, you got to make sure he's right. It's important. He's an important player for Miami. And unfortunately, like, Miami has been used to this over the last few years with Bam's thumb, Jimmy Butler and his ankle, tailbone, knee. Like, you know, Jimmy usually has a bunch of ailments that usually flare up. It will be a good opportunity, I think, especially for Jaime Jaquez Jr. to see what he can bring to the table for this squad. But, you know, Tyler Hero being out, let's just say, you know, cautiously, let's just say until December. Maybe he'll be back for those big home games at the end of the month against the Bucks and Pacers. But, you know, this is why I think they should be careful with Tyler. I know that he's probably going to push and he's going to want to get back quickly because he wants to make his statement. He may want to make an all-star push, and all that stuff is great. But they do need to be cautious with him because that did look like a nasty ankle sprain. And I remember, I think it was maybe his rookie year Tyler had a bad ankle sprain. I remember him coming back, and he didn't look right. Like the first, it was actually, I think it was his rookie year. He had an ankle sprain. He was obviously off to a sensational start, had this ankle sprain, came back, didn't look himself. I know he was 19 at the time, 19, 20, but then he ended up getting that huge break because of the pandemic, and he obviously was awesome in the bubble. But these are finicky things. He's obviously a player who moves a lot. He needs his quickness. So they got to take that cautious approach with him. I think that's the smart way to go.